Hi. Hi, I'm here. I'm here just getting set up. For some reason Discord like won't open. I'm trying to get my Discord link and like Discord's just like, nah, I don't feel like opening. Sure. Okay. I think I fixed the Discord like call anyway, so I guess this is fine. Let's get our pinned comments up here. Pin. And then on Twitch, we'll pin. And then come over here. We'll look at what we're doing. Hi, everybody. Oh, you can't see it yet. Oops. Friends. Countrymen. Hello? Can I please? What do you mean initializing? Hi, Brune. It's good to see you. Today we're going to be working on the collab I'm doing with Ozzy. It's been a minute. And then I realized I never shaded it. Okay, we're gonna turn it off and on again, you know? Sometimes you just gotta turn it off and on again. How's the new deck looking? I have actually been working on it. I have actually been working on the deck. It's not done yet, but like I'll let you know why it's taking so long. So the Clow cards, I have been using them for like 15 years, right? And the thing is I'm using a very special system. Please? Can I please have into? Oh, is this it? Is this what's wrong? There we go. I'm using a special system, quote unquote special. It's not that special, right? Hi, Doc. Hello. It's good to see you. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted y'all to see. That's fine. I'll make a new one. I'll make a new one next time. It's taking too long since it's too peak. Thank you, Doc. But there's a really cool, what is happening? I know, I'm sorry. There's a really cool system that I've been using for Clow for this whole time, right? And it's some lady on Tumblr made it, and it's like a fun 50,000 word document. It's nice. I like it a lot. It is a lot to think about. And since I'm trying to transfer all of the magic from my old deck into my new deck, I have to like consecrate a wand. And I have to like draw a circle on the ground. There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing. And you're like, what? Why are you doing all this? It's just neuroses, maybe. You could call it high magic, I guess. Sometimes you just need some ritualistic magic in your life, right? I'm not somebody who usually does quote unquote high magic. It's not something I usually work with other than the cloud cards. So I am actually like trying to consecrate wands and stuff, and it is a lot of weirdness. No, I cannot. Okay. There we go. But I have been working on it, Brune. I do promise I have been working on it. So looking at this, again, there's some issues with it, namely zoomed in, the eyes are okay, but zoomed out, this one is like way too, how would I say this? Like, not wide enough. It's skinny. It's too skinny. And now I have to think where. So those are the eyeballs. Okay. So I'm just going to take this and make it bigger. See if that helps out when it's zoomed out. If that looks, oh, it looks way better. Hello, Lynn. She's already got them translatable set. A different driver's record with date. We did? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Lynn. I didn't realize I had made a mistake. We're getting some stuff translated. to finish some. Is it this layer? Or is it not? It is this layer. Okay. We're getting some stuff translated so that Lynn can finally have a driver's license down here. And I must have sent the wrong thing to the train. Sorry. It's still incorrect, especially if I turn it upside down. I'm like, I see that there's incorrectness here. Namely, it's like not even a little bit. Get it? Even a little bit? Doing my best, Diva. Oh no. Tomorrow is a national holiday here. So I'm trying to... Yeah, I would like it to be a bit shorter. It would be nice to give ourselves some semblance of a break. But the thing is, oh, it's alpha locked, is that Lynn and I just got a big commission, mostly Lynn, let's be real, got a big commission for editing an entire book is what Lynn got. And then I will be shading the cover. Lynn will be drawing the cover. I will be shading and coloring the cover. And Lynn will be editing the entire gosh darn book. So I'm very excited about that, but it does make it hard to take a gosh darn break. And then I know I have a big project that comes every September. So that'll be coming up quick. Big commissions. Yeah. Exciting. You can take a break after. Maybe. We'll be coming up on our birthdays at that point. So it's probably a really good time to. Okay, I appreciate that much more. I think zoomed out it doesn't look quite so absolutely strange. So I'm going to turn off our background layer. And we're going to save this as a transparent PNG. Okay. I'm going to switch over to here for just a second so I don't dox myself. Back to my gallery. And I'm just going to start a new entire file because I think it will make things much easier on my end. So here we go. There's that. Hello, Willy Bug. So the way I usually do like rendering and shading and all of that is I have my base image and now I'm going to clip onto here. And we're just going to start drawing in our basic shadows. Entirely one layer at first. Pull in all of our basic shadows. So we got to decide on a light source, which I'm thinking kind of like almost like straight down, but from the front. You know, kind of like on stage. They're kind of posed. There's another person here since it's a collab. They're kind of posed like they're on stage. So we'll kind of do it like it's a stage. So if we're doing, you need my advice, of course, of course. Hello, Pleiades. It's good to see you. Absolutely rough it out first. Does not need be great. I will put the transparency down so I can actually see where I put things, but it doesn't have to be exceptionally clean at this point. Sulking? I mean, I would expect him to after everything that happened, you know? I would expect him to be, like, upset and mad at himself. Mm. How you can make it understandable. Let me think about that, Brune, because that'll be difficult. No, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting we've been pretty blasted and exhausted, so I keep forgetting to ask. But I'm gonna think about that question for you. Don't worry about that. Lynn likes it? Aw. That whole, whole thing right here. Into university, that's fantastic news, Pleiades. You're planning on going to uni? Yeah, oh, oops. I didn't turn off that timer. Let me set that up. Weird, that one should have turned on though. Right, I can't see it when it happens, I forget. I forgore. Sometimes the bot is... I love the bot. I love working with the bot. I like learning new programs. I think it's a lot of fun, but there's always something that I'm like, huh? Wait, huh? What? With the bot every single time. Every single time I change something, I'm like, this is going to make my life so much easier. I love working with bots. And then inevitably something will happen and I'm like, I don't know what happened. The computer's only doing what I told it to do. Unfortunately, that's a me problem. Absolute crime. Like I said, we're just kind of really messy putting in the shadows right now. Trying to figure out where our light hits, what it's doing. A lot of people compare this step to like carving, which I think is a fair idea. But to me, it's very organic, this step. Not to say that it's easy for me, because it is not. But it is something that I try to do very, like sculpting clay or something. Does your partner not want you to go to college? Mm-hmm. This week, the art schedule in particular is going to be kind of funny because we have a surprise tomorrow on Art Stream. A very fun surprise. No worries. And then on Thursday, I won't be here for Art Stream. I will have to cancel it this week. Just Thursdays. Oh, good. I'm glad your dad's helping. I want just like a line. Like that's. There we go. I think a little bit. Doesn't really make sense, but that's better. Well, I told you, like, if you don't like who you're with, you should probably break up. And I'm not saying that lightly. I don't want to tell people that I only know on Discord to break up with their SOs, right? That's really scary advice to give somebody. But, like, if you don't like them, what are you doing? Not quite. Not quite like that, but yeah. Trying to figure everything out because, like I said, I want this coming from like top front, which is not like a super. Yeah. I'll talk to the sisters, ask them to clear and give me a sign during the reading. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea, Rune. I'm still thinking about your question about what it maybe should be. That's not it. That ain't it. If there is something there, it's very small. Closer. Closer. The thing is that every time I draw something more on this, for some reason it gets spookier. That was not the original intention. It was not to have a spooky picture. And yet, it keeps happening. And you know, we'll take it. We'll take a spooky picture. But then I think the body would cast like its own shadow here. Like it's way more from the front than I think. Ooga booga, hello! Hi Ozzy, it's very good to see you! Gesso? Ah, it's no problem. I just thought, oh man, I never finished that. I need to go finish it. So I thought it would be a good time to do so. Mm, something like that, yeah. Yeah, no problem. And it's not like we're on any kind of deadline. So we're not rushed for it. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why it's so. How am I? I'm okay. Tomorrow is a national holiday here, so we have the day off. And so I'm trying to take today, which I have quote unquote nothing to do other than my 2 streams, a little bit slower than normal, a little bit easier than normal. So it's been nice. I actually like read something. The theory, the concept of reading? A better idea what my free time will be. Good. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. So now usually when I have this kind of rough shaded out, I would go in and not just clean it up, but also you're gonna lurk. Perfect. That's what I want you to do. I'd clean it up, but I would also go through and like change the color of the shading in different spots. And right now, kind of wondering, I think we might have like a teeny bit along this edge. Right? That might even be more than I want, but we'll see. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Where did you get a mysterious free puppet? I suppose probably school. But you know that that's not like a normal thing people get to do, right? Gonna be your baby? Oh. Oh, that's cool, Flianes. Bought at a Ren fair. Ooh. That's really sweet. I've only ever made a puppet once, but I was really proud of it. I followed a tutorial on like how to change a like men's tie. One of those pretty, you know how they're kind of like silky and like the patterned texture. There's like a texture to it. We should make paper puppets. Yes. I followed a tutorial on how to make a men's tie into dragon a dragon glove, and then with like a fake glove attached to it, like a falconer's. There's like a fake hand in like a falconer's glove, and then the dragon is on top of in your real hand. I was really proud of how it turned out. I gave it to my DM when we were doing D&D at the time. It was a lot of fun to make. Definitely a lot more work than I thought it would be. And like I love sewing and crafting, so I was like, this is perfect. Perfect craft for me. Slightly challenging, comes out cool. There's a no. It's not slightly challenging. It's very challenging. But I was pretty proud when it came out. And paper puppets are good craft for people to start out with. Absolutely. Probably a much better start. No, I don't want to get rid of all of it. I just want it to be like a straight line. There we go. That's cool. Cardstock, paint markers, and glue. Honestly, something I should consider. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then, like, suddenly, I'm like, yes, actually, actually, yes. You remember those? I don't, or like, they're kind of still a big thing, but for a minute they were huge. Those, like, you would draw your OCs, but like hanging by their sleeve or something, and then you would make it into a keychain. I remember that was a big thing to do. Like, 2010, maybe? I remember everybody in high school, like all my friends were doing it in high school. And I feel like that kind of counts as a puppet, but also not. There's no movement. There's no control. But thinking of making a paper puppet reminded me of those. Because it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like there's a similar vibe of like, you get to see a little guy come to life. I guess that's the whole point of puppetry, huh? Is seeing a little guy come to life. For real, lurk this time, yes. Go lurk, go lurk. Go have fun. I will have a little bit more here. Oh, paper bag puppets are a classic. Like every little kid does that in school. Paper bag puppets were fun. I had a puppet that I found somewhere. I don't know where I got him. Literally no clue. But like the thing with him is I would take him places with me if I was going on like a camp for school, or if I was going to, like, if it was like the last day of school, I would bring him with, and I would just like take pictures with everyone holding him, or like, I guess, having him on their hand. And it was just a really fun little way to like document something, you know? That was a lot of fun. And I did it for so long that the people that I went to school with started to expect it of me, which is also fun. When you're known as like the puppet girl, the girl who brings the cringe puppet to major events to get pictures with everybody. It always felt to me more like a journalistic exercise, but I'm sure everyone else thought of it as more of a weird hazing thing as I made them hold the puppet. Really, you can see that I am born to lead a cult. Been trying to relax more, to not live in like a constant I'm not allowed to take breaks state. It's hard, harder than you'd think. So I've been playing more Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is one of my favorite games. One of my absolute favorite games. I've been playing a lot more of it the last few days. Just trying to teach myself that like I'm not a bad person for trying to play a game. But sometimes it really feels like it. And then I also know, like I said, I have a project coming up that comes up every September that I'll have to do soon. So that'll eat up some of my time. And then I have the big commission that'll eat up some of my time. So it's not like I don't have things planned out. It's not like I don't have a grip on what I'm doing, or I'm not being responsible or something like that. It's literally just that, like, American worth ethic guild. Well, to be honest, hopefully you never have to deal with whatever baby that is. I'm glad that part of your life's over. No, the hair I'm probably going to end up doing like way more shading to than what we have right now. But I will start with some of the basic stuff that I have already. It's not much. There will be more in a minute. I'm not really sure what I have going on. I'm a little bit tickled because she looks a bit like a character that I have been reading. Maybe I just picked up on some of the, or maybe I'm just being reminded. Yeah, we're getting that stuff translated, and the poor translator was like, "Could you do this time, or this time to pick stuff up?" And I'm like, all 3 of those times I'm in stream. So I had to send Lynn down to go pick it all up. So they should be back in just a second. But yeah, I spent the day, I did a little bit of cleaning, which is always needed. And then I got my sewing machine up and running. Something I have wanted to do for quite possibly like a year. And it is finally something at a state where I won't be afraid to open it and do stuff, which is where I wanted it. Because I have a lot of sewing projects that I want to do and I want to get done. I love sewing. I hate sewing. I love having clothes. I hate sewing. I love having custom clothes that are what I wanted. But I hate sewing. Always something goes wrong. But thankfully, so far, knock on wood, everything's okay with this project. It's a shirt I really, really like, a blouse, but it's like just barely too small in the shoulders. And I don't mean like, I don't mean like I can't wear it. Like I've worn it a lot. I just mean it's like just barely uncomfortable. And so I wanted to see if I couldn't fix that. So I have added in, or I took out the shoulder section and like no, that's not how that's supposed to. Go ahead and fix this. Basically recut it and re-sewn it in with a bigger piece of the shoulders. I don't think I'm making any kind of sense, but I have been thinking about if I would make a video like, here's how to, I don't know, make a better wardrobe without feeling sorry for yourself. Or that's not true. That's not true. You will feel sorry for yourself if you have to sew things. Absolutely. But I've just been seeing a lot of people be like, oh, I can only find good stuff for the price I need in my style and my size on Temu or on Shein. And I'm like, first of all, trust me when I say this, that they will not have the size you need. They will say you have the size you need, and then they will show up and it will be dramatically too small. But that's not, you're not me. It's fine. But I've been thinking about like, I have such a weird wardrobe full of stuff that I've like made or altered or thrifted or all of the above. And just like showing it off to inspire some people would make me really happy. So I've been thinking about doing something like that, but I have 2 other videos I'm currently working on. So that would be a later thing. Seems right. Okay, so now we're here. I'm working on the card deck or card tour video, which has been long requested. I have it filmed and I'm currently editing it. And then I'm working on a glamour magic video, which nobody asked for. But I got the idea and it like wouldn't get out of my head, so now it's everyone else's problem. And then we'll have a little bit here. Hello, hello! How goes it? I realized I never shaded this, so we're just kind of doing something simple for now. It might not be simple forever, but simple for now. Okay, and I think I've cleaned up this first layer. No promises. Creating names, a lot of names. Well, good luck to you, my friend, in your name creation journey. How is it so far? Okay, now, yes, we're going to duplicate this just so I don't somehow mess it up completely and lose it. And then change some of the colors because I like to have this on multiply at like 60-ish. And at that point, it does need color inside of it. And we'll use something different this time, which is usually I use a hard brush when I'm going through and doing this. But I'm going to try my luck with the soft brush here. Hello, chocolates and roses. You have not run out of Norse names just yet. Good. You'll get there. I trust eventually you will run out, but not yet. Surely not yet. Mm, something like that. And then on the hair, like a more red, and I will make it smaller. Yeah, this is not how I usually do it. I'm actually really enjoying it all of a sudden. Like, actually, this might be a nice way to do things. It gives that fun reflective, like that's not how exactly I do it, but it does give that really fun reflective quality to the shadows. Reminding you of a webtoon you read? Tell me about it. Hopefully it's a good one. It's reminding me a little bit of one that I just read too, but hoping that that's not, which is funny because like I read that after I drew that. After I drew that. Okay. Robot maids and zombies? Oh, interesting. I don't think I've heard of one about robot maids and zombies. That's really cool. Actually, let's turn this to like overlay. I'm just messing with stuff here. This is not how I usually shade, but I am trying to learn some new technique by experimentation. Storyline's really good. That's cool. I would not like I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I definitely wouldn't have expected a story about robot maids and zombies to be really good. That's the best way to learn. Thank you, Brood. Doing our best. What if we did an overlay but with dark colors? I didn't think so too, but then I was eating it. Fantastic. We love to see it. I think there's like, it's way too, there's not enough. I'm gonna go back to multiply because the lighting is too harsh. I'm gonna try to darken some bits with like a soft shading. Try and, but then again, like, I will say, I am not versed in soft shading. I am not skilled. How about this? I am not practiced. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm not practiced in soft shading, so a lot of it comes off as quite muddy when I try and do it. It's called Housekeeper. Okay. I will look into that. I think if I do that. I also think I can turn that way down. Can't I? Yeah, I can. That makes it much better, actually. And then I think actually underneath this, we're gonna go for an even softer. Oh no, not with a soft brush though. I like to do different layers of hard shading. So there's not just one layer of hard shading, there's maybe 2 or 3. I usually think that comes out way better in the end. And I think that might be what we're missing here is oh well, yeah, okay. I can also erase things softly. It's this line. It's this line that's simply not doing it for us. Hello. I got a cute setup. Thank you, Lilith. We're working on it. We're getting there. Mm, if I just made everything on that side. Here to co-work? You are so welcome to stay here and co-work. Absolutely. Lynn's home. And then this layer didn't get cleaned here. So I was telling people earlier, and I'll say it again just so nobody's caught off guard, but tomorrow's art stream we have a little bit different schedule than usual, a little bit of a surprise, which I'm excited to show people. And then Thursday's art stream, I won't be here. I'm gonna have to cancel it, unfortunately. But I'll tell you all about it afterwards. I'll tell you all about it afterwards because it will be cool. It will be a neat story I get to tell y'all. Mm, there's still something strange here. And I think it has to do with this, like, piece of light. I think it might even be a problem, like a structural problem down here. And so I'm going to turn off our shading real quick. See if I can't fix this problem. Hello? Much better. Yes. What's up? Okay, I can help you with that. Back up to just so I can get the right colors. On alpha. Anything will happen tomorrow between me and her. I mean, I don't see why not. Why would it not be a good question? Is the better question, I guess. Why would you not like that? Okay, well, hold on 1 second. I have to go very badly to get some water. I forgot to get any water. So I will be right back. Here I am. I came back. I don't want the spirits to get confused and cryptic like last time. The thing with the spirits is that they don't get confused. They tell you stuff that you need to know um more than what you asked. Sometimes they just choose not to answer the question because they think there's something else you should know more urgently. And so it's not necessarily like you wording the question wrong. It's more just them be doing things. It's more just that they be doing things sometimes. Mm, what's happening? This one? Yeah. Nope, that's the eraser tool. Alpha lock. I'm like, what's going on? It's a user error, in fact. There we go. That's much better. So let's turn. I want like a real current layer, dark fill. Cute. Love to see it. And then I'm going to try some like last little changes. Howdy doodle do. Hi, Jim. Welcome in. I'm trying stuff out, experimenting with rendering today. How are you? How are you doing today? Are we going to be co-working any project? Mm, nope. You're welcome. Just winding down for the day. Well, welcome home. Glad you're doing well. Get back up. I'm gonna make this a lot. I think. Like this bit needs to be something like this. I am having a good time. This is a collab I'm doing with a friend. They will be over here for a bit of a maid cafe kind of vibe. Having a good time. Let's get last bit some highlights because I think getting this glass to be sparkly eyes, and I need to do my glasses. Be maybe here. Mm. Hello, blood type. It's good to see you. How are you doing today? Oh, the maid is giving Hunter Hunter. I've never read Hunter Hunter, but I completely believe you. Everybody's been like, this reminds me of this, and this reminds me of this. So like, I really don't think anyone's wrong. I think maybe I just had too many references or too many inspirations here. Almost. It's just not quite. That's better. That's better. Or you just need some Hunter Hunter in your system. That could be it too. So let's grab like a really pale. I'm gonna make it kind of green, and then I think it'll pop as a little bit blue with all the orange around it, you know? And I absolutely need that hard brush. I'm gonna go crazy. There we go. Okay. Absolutely look wild now. Let's figure that out a little bit better. There we go. Something like that. I do think it needs to be like further down, like down on her nose, as in I have clicked on every button other than add folder. There we go. Like here. I think it could do with more blue. Yeah. And then some. I think I'm feeling that kind of. It's very cartoony, very stereotypical. I'd rather, yeah, something like that. And it can even come way further down, but I do want just that effect. I don't need it to look like sunglasses, you know? Something like that. Something I honestly think more this would suit it more. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And then some fun little highlight in the cup. say, on a screen locked layer. Here we go. Stronger than that. And then last thing is let's get these hearts onto the actual plate. And I think that that's how I want it. There's definitely something to be said about like oh, there we go. Definitely could do with a little bit of maybe not like that. Maybe not like that. But a little bit of screen happening. Yeah. Yeah. That's something, right? It's not a rendering style that I usually end up doing. But I think it turned out pretty good for an experiment, right? I do think that this cream puff needs to be a completely different color. It looks kind of really bad, really unappetizing for a cream puff. So current layer, less saturated, but definitely more warm than whatever cold color that cream puff has. That looks pumpkin flavored, which isn't bad, but not what I'm going. That's was what even that's better. So we might leave it there for this one, just because I don't want to ruin it, right? If you go too hard on rendering with stuff, you end up ruining it. Snurp, snurp, snurp. I think I'm happy. I suppose I can definitely go for some hair highlights since we don't have any of those. And you're like, what are you doing? Trusting the process. And screen one more time, probably. Yeah. There, that's better. Okay. Now for real though, let's be done. So happy for this. Let's go ahead and save. I'll put it in the Discord for everybody to look at. And then we're gonna move over and I'll pop over to chat real quick while I switch images. And we'll start playing some more with this one that we had been playing with last time for the animation we wanted to do. Can't see much of it, but oops. There we go. So this is a silly little animation I want to do. And we'll start out with our subjects like this, which is me and Lynn. I wanted to do kind of a magical girl transformation with the two of us. I've been watching the new Precure, and that was definitely an inspiration here, if you couldn't tell. I don't think it'll end up being very magical girl. I think it will end up being much more stage magician kind of feeling, but I think no matter what, it'll be pretty cute. So let's start. I actually want to start with Lynn. And what we're going to be doing, I'm going to grab our dip pen. And I want to be probably at a 1. Wait, where am I? Oh, I'm on eraser. We want the pen to be. That's fine, but I think we can be up at maybe. That's better. And I'm going to be piecing this out for, like I said, the animation here. So we'll have, what are we thinking? I'm thinking arm, head, coat, body, coat, tail, leg. Probably. It might get more detailed than that, but I always try and keep it from being too detailed. And we definitely need to keep in mind a lot of very specific requests that I know Lynn will make about wanting their stuff to be like historically accurate. They have such a huge, I wouldn't even call it a soft spot, right? It's more that they're like gender euphoria comes from being dressed as a historically accurate pirate. So, who am I to deny them that? I'm doing much like wigglier line art than usual, much like rougher. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think That's what I want today. I think I want much more clean, much more. We're going for that magical girl look, right? Let's redo this kind of clean. And as you can tell, I did the sketch work extremely roughly. So it very well be that we have multiple attempts at this line art, but I don't want to psych myself out and say, oh no, right? We'll just take it as it is. I know I have two big time sensitive commissions coming up. So this is just my fun little personal project that I can put on hold as long as I need to. And just do for fun. I need more for fun stuff. You're painting while you're listening? I love that. What are you painting? Oh no. I can hear Lynn teaching in the other room, and for some reason, the topic of our friend's disastrous cooking has come up. Where he tried to make beignets in olive oil. And not only that, but he was like convinced, like completely convinced, that the oil needed to boil. So he was trying to boil olive oil on the stove. First of all, terrible idea. Second of all, don't do that. Card for a friend? A geisha? That's so cool. I don't think that's how the buttons work. To be completely honest with myself, don't think that's how the buttons are going to work. They might be more like up here at this point. That's closer, yeah. Arm. And then here, we'd have that front of the coat line. And remember, since we're animating it all, it does all have to be drawn, even the stuff that is behind. Eshi, hey, what's going on? You're feeling melancholy today? All my readings have given me the answer that things will resolve, but only 50% in my favor, and I don't know what that means. Oh well, hope you're doing well. Oh. Are these like readings that you're doing for yourself? And for what? I'm interested in like what problem are you trying to figure out? Something like that. Past reading for you and a reading from another guy on YouTube. Gave me the same answers. Okay, maybe we can look into it tonight. I just gotta stay positive. Yeah, we'll look into it tonight. We'll figure it out. I'm interested. Let's say that. A lot of the time when the cards say things like that to us, at least for me, it comes from like you're not going to get what you expect, but you're going to get what you need kind of place. One day I'll be able to zoom in to the point where I can still see things. Oh, nice. Fun. There. So it's not trying to tell you that like your life won't work out or you're not going to be happy. It's more so that like you're not going to get what you expected or what you're planning right now, but life just is often not going to give you what you expect. I'll say I never expected to be a VTuber. I never expected to be a tarot reading VTuber. I thought I was going to be a robotics engineer. A robot, not an engineer, more like a technician. Definitely not an engineer. I am not that smart. But I thought I was going to be a robotics technician, and this isn't where I thought I would be. But I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'm happy. I'm on ad break as well, that I just now noticed. I'm pulling up a quick reference for me so I can see about some pirate coats. So that I do them correctly. Because I already know I haven't, and I know I'll need to go back. So while we have this ad going, I need to grab something real quick. Here I am. Here I am. I can already tell I did things wrong. That's okay. It's okay. That's what learning's about. I think this first one is actually like too high. I think it would start more like here. And they have, it's like piping, right? And then there's a button on the end like that, right? Same with Steph. Thank you for the tip. Thank you. The buttons on the sleeve, which I also messed up, but that's okay. That's why we have refs. Is we're gonna have a strip of piping here, and then again this like looped in on itself piping, and a button here. Completely not where I thought. Again, why we have this. Much better. And I'm going to work smarter, not harder. Think like interchange. Interchange. Walk me through interchange. Looking at the inner experience of change. I think it could work. Almost. There we go. Now, again, make it all muched. How things are set up. So I know I'm probably going to want a lot more than whatever's going on here. We can add more. We can add more as we go. We can add more as we go. We'll start out here. These are both coat, right? Coat bits. And because if I don't name them now, I am going to lose my absolute mind later. Mm -mm. Now, you know me, I love to do lace. So I'm sitting here like, but why isn't it lace? I should probably go in and do lace, but I'll do that like later. Like I said, this can be a line art version 1 or something where I can go in and I can change it to my heart's content whenever I feel like it. And also when I get their input, because I know they're going to have opinions about this. There's not a lot that needs to be done with a shirt, though. Not that I know of. I hope not, at least. We'll leave that with shirt. We'll get these breeches. No thoughts that empty. Promise I've been trying to practice talking during streams. During tarot stream, it's so easy. But during art stream, it's really not. I don't think this one's quite how that would play. Might have something like that there. But I'm gonna let it be a little bit simple for now. And then we have that and our big pilgrim buckle boots. They love big pilgrim buckle boots. It's a non-linear process, I'll say that much. Trying to get myself to remember to talk and to speak and thinking of things to say and that is like way too and just in general. I have like a whole list of things I could talk about, but then I bring them up and they take like 5 seconds. I think that's something that I could ask for help on. I've been trying to do less like research on how to stream, how to be a better streamer, yada yada yada. I think it eats so much of my time and like does not give back to me in a way that makes my life better. There we go. Leg. It doesn't help when we're working on stuff too. No, it does. Like it's not a you problem. That's not how I want to frame it. It's not my viewers that are the problem. It's that I need to figure out how to manage my own stuff. I've been considering talking to some kind of manager just to get a few questions answered. Not a whole bunch, but just a few. Well, even if you're not chatty, I should still be chatty. Like, that's the whole point of a stream. If I want more people to be, need to be more chatty. Oh, I need to get up for that. Door rang. Sorry, the door rang. I sat down and immediately the neighbor like must have moved a chair or something, and it sounded exactly like a ghost saying hello. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Actually, I'm good. Something like. And then there would be some kind of little bit there. I'm gonna see about being smarter, not harder, and see if it looks really bad or not. I do something like this. Honestly, if I just change this out for different squigglies, I think that I can. Yeah, I think I can do that. Saves me just a lot of work. No, back of Costco. Oh man, I wish I could be in the back of a Costco. Not sure why the lesson today seems to be about olive oil. In fact, yeah. Out there talking about if shaving cream can be used as a cleaning product. And I'm like, yeah, actually, it can. I can't stand the textures of shaving cream though. I had like a may I have a dilemma I could use your advice on? Yeah, go for it. Mm, like they don't match is the problem. The sleeves like don't even match a little bit is the problem. Yes, I haven't replied this about 10 days ago. Mm, mm, that is a good question. My gut says no. My gut says no, unfortunately. I think just letting it be might be the best course of action. Okay, so the thing with this one, if I come back up to this arm, I think if I make this one, it will help. You have another question, go for it. Okay, that feels much better. How do you choose? One thing that I do if I have like a two option thing like that is you can literally ask for like a coin toss from the spirits. You could ask them if that would like please help me resolve this. I also have like this idea of using my pendulum. I'm not sure why. I haven't used it in a very long time. And usually I use it to find missing objects, not gonna lie. If I like misplace something and can't figure out where it's supposed where I put it, I'll use my pendulum to find it, kind of like a dowsing rod. But label your questions 1 and 2, Brune, and let me know when you've done that. Label your questions 1 and 2 and let me know when you've done that. The thing that we do in our house when we're stuck with this kind of thing is we label them like colors. So if I'm struggling choosing between 2 things, I'll like walk up to Lynn and be like, yellow or orange? And they'll say orange. I'll be like, okay. And then like I don't have to make the decision, but then also like they don't have to know everything about the situation. It helps us a lot. And of course, like that's a your mileage may vary kind of thing. But would it be considered a follow-up? I think that would be like a yes or no. That's what I mean. Is it would be right now we're gonna decide what one to do. That's why I'm like label your questions 1 and 2. No. That's not what I'm doing. Label the questions themselves 1 and 2. And we'll ask the pendulum which one to ask the cards. How much is the pendulum? I was just gonna do it, bro. That was just something I was gonna do. There we go. That's more or less. Like I said, I really do think that this is gonna be kind of a sketch 1, sketch 2 kind of thing. So I don't have to be crazy with it. You labeled them 1 and 2. Okay. So that means 1 is gonna be clockwise. And 1 is going to be counterclockwise. So let's see. Like I said, I haven't used my pendulum in quite a while. I ask it if it understands the question. Okay. Can you show me 1? Thank you. That's definitely clockwise. Can you show me 2? That's counterclockwise. I gotta get rid of this spam message. And then, okay, question 1 or question 2? Question 1. It says question 1. Perfect. Sounds good to me. Of course, of course. Oh, we have not picked like a actual hairstyle for Lynn's little personality here. But I'm gonna go with this for now. Take it out. And then we'll rename this one hair. Boy, I am so tired. And for them, I think that the ears are going to be very kind of understated, if that makes sense. Rename year 1. But something like this. Something like this. And then we'll put all of this in a folder. Lynn is in class right now. They're subbing for one of our friends who's currently out. Yeah, they should be here for tarot. Coming out of my... I've been doing just fine. I am so ready to take a nap. I unfortunately have Spanish class to go to, and I've been more or less failing. I'm not proud of it. I think this just needs to just be bigger. There, that's much better. Mm, there we go. Duplicate that. Work smarter, not harder. And this is, nope, not locked. Hat, ear 2. Ear 1. Like that. Closer. Asking friends for a number, me having choose an honor even beforehand. Yeah. No. We'll come back to that. I am so tired. I cannot think straight. And I'm having a very unentertaining stream. It's okay. Every stream I get a little bit better. I think I grew a bit skeptical of spiritual signs when I asked for them. Again, that's a very human thing to do. Is to be skeptical. Mm. That's cute. You know what? No. I don't have to deal with it. I can do this later. But also, I don't know if it was a sign. That's the never-ending story when it comes to trying to figure out signs and stuff. Is it a sign? Is it not a sign? I asked for a sign the other day, and someone walked past. I was walking home, right? I was walking home, and somebody I asked for a sign, and somebody like passed me walking the other direction, and they were on their phone, and she said, "Yeah, no." And I was like, "Is that a sign that you're not gonna give me a sign? What am I what am I supposed to glean from this?" That's one reason why I don't ask for signs very often. Or is it the sign? Yep. Completely unknowable. It definitely needs to be bigger than that. Let's maybe like that, I think. But that's not an answer anything. So I think that was my sign. I think that's a sign. It's quite literally a green light. So depending on what you were asking for or asking about, I'd say that's like green light means go. Mm, I see. It is difficult. I am having the hardest time keeping these from not shrinking. There we go. That's better. Popped a third question for you. Oh, you'll figure it out. I promise. Do you know these are called mutton chop sleeves? No joke. They're called mutton chop sleeves. I love them, personally. I would wear these daily if given the choice. But they are certainly um, something used in character design to show like a very old design. And look at me now having 3 questions. You'll get there, you'll get there. I need a different shape. Yeah. Much better. Again, it's like not right. That's okay. You can have more questions at the start of next month, but not today. Fair. Fair. Yeah, I don't want you to end up spending all your money on me, please. What money? See? This is what I'm talking about. Precisely what I'm talking about. I have more channel points than money. I feel like that's a normal place to be there. Having more channel points than money. I don't think you're alone in that one. I trust you to take care of yourself, so don't break that trust. Thank you. mm, Not quite. More like that. That's better. No, we want that to stay, though. Not. And then this needs to get way more crunkly. It's hard to improve a language without making regular opportunities in practice. Yeah. Mm. We've been teaching our English students this a lot, but if you hear someone speaking English and they don't know everything, do you think they're stupid or do you think they're very smart for trying? Because it's the same with any language. People think that others are very smart for trying to learn another language. And it doesn't matter. I mean, like, that's what I mean, is if you hear someone learning your native language, right? If you hear someone learning your native language and they're having a hard time, you don't, and it's their second language or third or fourth or whatever, then you're going to think that they're smart for trying to learn. Because we have a lot of English students who get so nervous when they're trying to figure out, like, they don't want to say anything, they're too scared, right? And we have to teach them, like, that's simply not how it works. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to want to make this into 2 layers eventually, so I'm just going to start now. It's not going to be here that they'll merge, but well, maybe it can be. Yeah, we had a wonderful conversation with the lady, a waitress at McDonald's yesterday, who's also not from around here. So her Spanish is very different. She was from Cuba, I think, Colombia. Unfortunately, I don't remember. And she was asking, like, so is McDonald's here like better? Is it worse? And we're like, better. Like, no contest. It's better here. Zero contest. And she was very surprised. She's like, but like, we don't have everything on the menu. And we're like, yeah, we do miss hash browns. We do miss hash browns. No second guessing. No, zero second guessing. It's so much better here. Because like the quality of the ingredients are just so much better. I'm gonna make this just a little smaller. I don't like how long they go. There. The quality of the food here is just leaps and bounds better, like the ingredients. And so therefore, we have this very fun psychological phenomenon at the McDonald's where it tastes like McDonald's. It tastes exactly like McDonald's, but it also tastes better at the same time. So it tastes exactly the same, but also better. which I don't know, to me, I find so funny. I had a Russian friend in Wisconsin who took English before she came over. She said it didn't help at all. That's one thing about like learning a second language from a book or from texts, even if you're not living in the country with the that actively speaks the language you're trying to learn, it is difficult. It is simply difficult. And not because you're not trying, but because you only really get one person's voice, right? So like my students are really good at understanding me and talking to me. However, like I've been with them for a minute and they know my voice. If anyone else talks to them, it's probably much harder. I also speak to them like this, where I slow down and I do all of my pronunciation very particularly so they can understand what I am saying at all times, right? If I talked to them like this, they probably would understand most of what I was saying because it's still my voice, right? They're still used to the way I say things, even if it's a bit faster. But if they talk to someone else who speaks different than me, even if they're slowed down, it would probably still be pretty difficult, right? I'm learning Spanish with my teacher, and by watching a they'd be like, "What?" Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so if I just plopped them down in the middle of the US, it would still be difficult for them. They would read pretty well and they would write, they might be able to write. We don't really practice writing in my class. It's mostly about listening, speaking, and reading. Yeah, we never do writing. Interesting. I never realized that until just now. We don't do writing. Um or with an accent. Yes, they have very thick accents that I understand because I have talked to them for so long. And because I am currently learning Spanish. They don't understand ed endings. That you're not supposed to say I walked to the market yesterday. They struggle with that so much. And I understand what they mean when they say walked, but no one else would. No one else would. So it's a balancing act, right? I'm currently trying to listen to like different YouTubers or different audio input, but a lot of my audio input, like a large amount of my audio input is like one guy. Just like one guy on the internet that I watch his streams. And I'm getting real good at understanding what he's saying. But if anyone outside tries to ask me, if my own Spanish teacher tries to ask me things, I'm like, huh? Meanwhile, I'm following like 90% of what he streamed BioShock, and I like could follow most of it. Granted, he was like going slow, but I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to try and get through. For me, I'm really struggling right now with Spanish because I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but like I've had such a hard time getting to class, and it was a very nice walk, maybe like 2 miles to class, and it was a very nice walk, maybe like 2 miles which is like what, 3-4 kilometers. We'd walk there, we'd have class, and then we'd walk home. And I would just like sob the entire way because you have to release the energy. Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't understand like what I was even supposed to like, like it didn't, I couldn't comprehend it. And recently I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to comprehend a little bit, but that doesn't mean I can speak. So like I finally have like the words in my brain that I can understand enough to like read them or sometimes even hear them with people. I can put together like really simple sentences. I can read a text pretty well. I can listen to my guy play BioShock pretty okay. But like I try and speak, and my own Spanish teacher just doesn't understand me because my accent's so thick, because I've been working so hard on reading and listening, and I have not worked on speaking because it's just so difficult to do that. And it's like, oh, I know I need to spend more time practicing. I need to spend more time doing XYZ. And it's like, what time? What time, my guy, am I supposed to be using to do this? I know I need to prioritize it, but it's so like that's like a full-time job amount of time that I need to put into it if I'm being serious. And I simply don't have that. I barely have enough time to go to class for 2 hours a week. I'm over here like I live in this country where they speak Spanish. My practice should be going to the grocery store, and like I really thought that would be enough. Everybody talks about, oh, you gotta do immersion, you gotta do immersion. I really thought just living someplace would be enough. And I would have figured it out by now. No, simply not. Simply not. Let's try that. Good. Good. Lynn is currently in the other room teaching whatever student they're subbing for about Cracker Barrel. Extremely important knowledge. Extremely important knowledge to have. You only have the one question now? That's really awesome. And there you go. There you go. You figured it out, Brune. You figured it out. I knew you could. Oof. I have no idea how I want to draw the banks for this, not gonna lie. I really have been enjoying the like extremely old school bangs lately, as you can tell. And then down here we'll do some... Nothing is set in stone. I can do whatever I want. That's not how a knee works. I would say that's not how a knee works. Sometimes I wish I was all knowing. My character's very curious. That's fair. Yeah, I do know. You just want to know things. That's not how that works either. Something like this. But this curve would have to be very different. Yeah, that's better. Mm-mm. That's close, but not quite. Yeah, why not? Sure, something like that. But I think the thing is that I have included this part, whereas in the other one I did not. There we go. More or less, but I think that the more is that they're way too small. Just extremely too small. That's the thing about having to zoom in. But I saw one called Hilda Horacio going viral recently. Oh. For what kind of reasons? Are you okay with me doing one now for the tarot bump later? You can if you want to, but I think it might be better if you do it later. Do that and turn it down and kind of redo that. Hello, Sen. It's good to see you. Oops. That ain't it. There we go. More or less. The protagonist has a thing with a priest. Oh, I know that my friends, this was like forever ago, but really trying to get me to watch Fleabag. And I unfortunately understand the call of a protagonist having a thing with a priest. I understand the call. Do you like shows with blood and such? Depends on how much there is. I can't do like blood for fun. Like I couldn't sit down and watch Saw, for example. But other stuff, like I could. Are you watching stuff that's PG-13? No, I'm not watching stuff that's PG-13. No. I do like I like horror a lot. I really like horror. But I don't like gore for the sake of gore. So I have a hard time with, yeah, I guess slashers or like really gory stuff that doesn't have like a purpose question mark. Something like that. Sweet pea. Sweet pea. Tell me about sweet pea. I don't think I've heard of that one. Okay. I'm going to try just kind of filling stuff in for a minute. Because I think that we'll be able to understand the layers a lot better after that. So if I do it one at a time, I think that makes most sense. Right? Kind of like a doll, right? We're gonna go for this, and then we invert. I'd actually want to. Okay, so we want to change this a little bit. We want to have it expanding a little bit. So let's move this. There we go. Invert, bucket, current layer. And for this one, let's just go with the gray. Right? Listed thriller dark comedy. It's about a girl everyone overlooks and she might just get away with murder. Hi. Okay, bye, Steph. Shows are good for understanding, but speaking is another beast entirely. Absolutely. Unfortunately. Oh, wait, no, don't. Okay. Whew. Okay, so I only messed up by including the. Okay. I was like, no. Okay. So first one, we're gonna save the bodice. Second one, I got really good advice though from one of the teacher instructors the other day, trying to give me advice on like how to teach better, and I think she gave me advice on how to learn better. But she said she met a girl who taught herself like perfectly fluent English because she really loved the show Friends and would and picked one of the characters. I'll be honest, I don't know Friends very well. Oh, wrong one. Picked one of the characters and Monica? Monica? And would just like watch the show over and over and just learn and say all of Monica's lines. So our instructor is like, so just like find someone who you like their voice and then just copy their voice and use it as speaking practice. Oh, wait a minute, that might work. So thinking about that is like my next step for speaking practice. Again though, with what time? And also like I need to be better now so that my Spanish teacher that I'm taking lessons with now doesn't think that I'm not trying. I'm speaking from a perspective of someone who cannot talk in English for the life of me. I find that hard to believe, son. I find that hard to believe. No, don't, not that. There we go. And then this needs changed to arm. Oh, hello. One of them is Monica, yes! Good. Thank you for confirming with me that one of the characters in Friends is indeed named Monica. I don't think this is how a head works. But you know, we're just gonna go with it for now. Looks more like a nautilus shell. There's no reason. We have to trust the process. We have to trust the process. And if our head is a nautilus shell, then so be it. It would be funny if she chose Zoe or Phoebe, though. I find speaking is easier than understanding when auditory. Reading is fine too. Brain won't process the sounds as words. Speaking is easier than... Oh, okay. So you don't mean listening is easy. You mean listening is the hardest for you. Have a time this exercise. Because right now, listening is the hardest, yes. I do not find that my opinion, but I can understand how you would get there. What do you mean outside the selection? No? Hello? I get paid to listen to people. The irony. Yeah, but are you listening to them in Spanish? I was not under that assumption. Speaking is the last step for most people. Oh, okay. See, I hear and understand fine. When I open my mouth, I sound like a Bond villain with a speech impediment. Yeah, I mean, that's probably not too far off to how I sound in Spanish. There we go. Invert this one. Bucket. Interesting. Don't know what that is. We're gonna find out later. Like, I know it's the ruffles, but I don't know, like, where in space that's supposed to be. Okay. I'm gonna work entirely. Let's try it like this, because this is gonna be... No, this is gonna be in front of things. This is in front, this is behind. So I need to duplicate this. Take this. Pull this out. And then same thing here. This will be where it drops under. Invert. Bucket. Speaking comes last for most people. I'm still stuck on that. Still thinking about that pretty hard. Stream is almost over. Oh my gosh, it is. Okay. Well, we can take a look at where we're at, which means these two are going to be putting that. Let's turn everything back on. See what kind of monster we have here. And we'll give a send-off. And tell Tarot Stream a little bit later. So there's where we're at right now. Not too bad, not too bad. Get a snack from the shop. I'll see you during Tarot. Of course! Go get a snack. I can see the outcome. Thank you very much. Go get a snack. I'll see you all in 4 hours for Tarot. Thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for talking to me about learning languages. One day, I'll get it in my brain exactly what I need to do because I'm sure it's a very simple answer and I'm just refusing to see it. You know how it is. But I will see you all, like I said, in just a few minutes. Just a few minutes, I suppose. If you count 4 hours as just a few minutes, then yes, I will see you in just a few minutes. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you, Doji. I am excited for tomorrow and our special little surprise. And I'll see you all soon. So, thank you very, very much. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye-bye. A few 240 minutes. Yeah, that sounds right.